Okay, just gonna highlight a few upgrades to my 2010 Rivendel Sam Hillborne. It's mostly with the cockpit. This has been a long time coming, this upgrade. So maybe 3 years ago, I bought a shutter precision dyno-hub. Then, a year or two later, I bought some Atlas wheels, rims, and the spokes and nipples, and that all from Velocity up in Michigan. Sure appreciate their help. They put together the kits for me. Also did the rear wheel too. That meant I need a little wider fenders for my wider tires. I've got the 42mm Continentals. Rivendel calls these basketball tires. I think kind of the tread is the reason why they're smooth. I run about 50 psi, which seems mighty hard. I'll probably ease up. Okay, so now I've got just a little small front sack. That's not the name, but I also have the slicker sack and the flat rack that bolt to that or screw to that rack. I just don't have it on now. And so what I've got inside is a rechargeable battery, USB supply, and then I've got two cables coming up to the cockpit. So this is my new Sinewave Cycles headlamp and charger combination unit I just received, and you can get mix and match. That's what I did. So I got the orange anodized body and the polished front bezel and the black rear bezel, and saw these ads in Adventure Cycling magazine. So designed in Cambridge, Massachusetts, and made in the USA. So it was kind of salty, but it got really good reviews as far as being able to make the most of the output from a dyno-hub. Okay, so the port on the left, the brass port, that's if you want to have continuous light from a remote battery. So at night I could do that with my battery, and the cable came with that. That goes from full-size USB to that little DC port. Okay, in the middle then you can see is a USB output, and that's the output of the dyno-hub in a DC form now that it's regulated for USB devices. So that cable is going into the battery, so that charges the battery, so it's sort of a buffer. Then I've got a cable coming up from the battery into my phone, and this is really what got me wanting to do a dyno-hub. Was I was on a bike tour, my only really epic tour, and at that time the battery wasn't so good in my phone, and I really couldn't use the Google Maps for the navigation. So now I probably could have gotten away with just the remote battery, but being able to charge that I think is a plus. Now the little switch on the right hand side of the rear panel is to control the light in the charger. So up is light is in priority, it's the brightest you can get the light, and if you go really fast you can still get a little bit of output for charging things, but it's not really recommended. The middle then is the lights off, and it's all output for charging. And the down position is kind of a combination. So a dim light, kind of a to be seen light, and then also it will charge at the same time. Not as much as if you shut the light out. So that's it for the daylight. I already had the cell phone bracket, and it just uses bungees and it's quite soft. So I really like that bracket. And then the Sinewave Cycles Beacon is the name of this product, the light. It uses a universal style mounting, and but they don't offer brackets, so I found this bracket online, and it's actually probably designed for another light, but they're all similar in that mounting. So it's got some swivels, kind of like a brake pad mounting, so you can aim it right to left as well as up and down. You can see there's a couple of little holes in the back, and that's so if you choose to mount it upside down, it'll drain the water out. You can also see there's two cables coming out of the bottom of the light, and the bigger round one, it's the one that goes down to the dyno-hub. So that's where it's taking the AC signal from the dyno-hub into the device. Then the flat paired lead to the left, that's if you have a dyno light or a dyno-hub style rear tail light. And I've just deadheaded that because I don't. I've kind of got a lot invested in this whole thing, and I'm not ready to spring for yet another new one. So I like this light, which is USB charged. There's a little port on the bottom, so I feel if I'm out on the road without access to a 110 adapter, I can still charge this off my battery pack. Now, this bit of repurposed handlebar tape is where I used to mount my headlight battery. It was a rechargeable battery headlight, so I'll be taking that off pretty soon. I have tried this out on an evening ride, and really like it. It's actually brighter than my previous light. One caution, or maybe even complaint in some of the reviews, is that this light does not have a shaped beam, if you will. It's got these three LEDs, and it's basically just a round beam, which is fine for, in fact, even maybe desirable for off-road, but there were some complaints that it was kind of bright on bike trails and maybe even in traffic. So with that in mind, I chose to mount it just as high as I could on the bike to minimize that problem. So I can tip the beam down to avoid blinding oncoming people or traffic. Also, when I'm loaded up with the stuff in the front, then I think it'll shoot over, the beam will still shoot over my my bundles or my luggage or whatever. I might add to this video some actually nighttime riding and that. See, also I've just got my simple little computer, trip computer, and that bundle of wire is actually the trip computer odometer wire. I'm not quite sure how to clean that up, but there you have it.